and artificial flavors on top of a natural thing that's supposed to taste really well and good for you, and you're putting crap on top of it. Hi everyone, welcome back to Ferdinand is Losing It. This is a new channel that I created to explain and share my stories, my experience of my weight loss journey and through fasting and through my diet. So I just want to give you guys with my fasting period, which is going to be 10 days. This is day number 3. It's November the 4th. I record this night and then edit in the morning. So give you guys a review of things here. So I started my fast 3 days ago, November 2nd on Monday. Well, one night before, but I usually check my weight in the morning. So 237.5 on Monday, then 232.3 on the 3rd on Tuesday, and then 228.9 on today, this morning, which from last weigh in, that's about a 2.5 loss and almost a 10-pound loss for the current period. So what is my topic today? And I want to talk about what do I eat. Again, a lot of people who are essentially with big people like me, they love food. I really love food, and I think fasting is a way to balance that off of food I really like and having a moment or a period where I don't eat and just try to I guess reflect on what I just ate. I guess so. What do I like to eat? What do I eat? And first of all, I like to cook. I really like to cook. I like finding different recipes. I like trying to find different recipes from different countries, cultures. I like watching videos on YouTube of what new things. There's always a bombardment of just new things I just always want to try. Usually it's just almost any food that looks interesting to me. I don't like anything that's pretentious, and especially something that's like people are putting like lots of sugar on them. The biggest thing is like I don't care about things like, I guess, something that looks too pretentious. I guess especially desserts. When a dessert looks too pretentious, I kind of don't like it unless it's made really really fancy and stuff. I mean, I guess there's a fine line between like fancy and pretentious. I guess I don't know if there isn't, but I like something that's maybe more elegant versus something that you're trying someone work really hard on and doesn't really know what they're kind of doing. That's what I find pretentious. And I can't really give examples, but it's just a feeling that I do have. Well, anyway, like something like I'm a big tea person. I like drinking lots of tea. I'm more of a person who drinks lots of loose leaf teas from different countries, different states. I'm in that kind of sort of person where I get down to when the tea was made. Does it have a special grade in it? And I'm a snob. I'm a snob of tea. So especially when it comes to drinks like boba or tea drinks, which doesn't even have any tea in them. I mean, one of the things, I'm almost disgusted by drinks that has like marshmallows on top or like Oreos on top or Fruity Pebbles. Like, it's just like, why do you have to have that? Like, you're just putting sugar and artificial flavors on top of a natural thing that's supposed to taste really well and good for you, and you're putting crap on top of it, and you're taking away from what's essentially like what a tea is. So what tea is, and tea is, it's such a homely drink. It's something that's delicate, something that you kind of observe with it. It's something that you also, when I have friends around, I would serve tea and we would have conversations with that. With boba drinks, it's like, oh, look, take a picture of him. Look at me, I have a boba drink that has toasted marshmallows or a churro on it, and it's like, I just can't stand it. And yes, I think in some parts, I think it's delicious as a dessert or something fun to have, but it's something that I'm a bit more high class, elitist, or even snobbish about. So that's what I do. That's what I say. But tea does certainly help me a lot though through the fast. Though I do drink tea, depending on what kind of teas I drink, my stomach or not put me in a good way. Usually that's stronger types of teas. So some black teas will do that to me. Even some green teas in there, but some of the lighter teas that have some of the lighter flavor will help me throughout the fast. And I love tea, and I love the brew tea. And sometimes I can't have the stronger stuff. I like the stronger stuff. When I do have the stronger stuff, I usually put milk, or not milk, not milk, heavy cream. Love heavy cream. You don't need a lot of it, and it makes it taste super delicious, especially with black tea. I don't like putting cream with anything else like oolong or jasmine tea. Ugh. So black tea, usually strong black tea. I like to have that heavy cream, but everything else, it just has to be not touched by anything, just by water, and that's it. And I love having a long session of tea. If you're not familiar with some different tea cultures in there, I like using a gaiwan, which is like a bowl of tea with a cup with a saucer, and you kind of like decant the tea and moving off of it. It's a whole different world of tea if you're not familiar with it. So that's tea. Everything else I like to do, especially in my fast, is I drink a lot of liquids, especially water, and I do drink carbonated water. We have a soda stream that we just constantly buy cylinders from. And they're always running out for some reason, so I get really nervous, but we're always have something that bubbles the water, and I think bubbling water is nice. You kind of feel it, especially when you're fasting, like in your stomach, like all the bubbles are moving around and stuff. But for people that says like, oh, it's the health benefits, or it makes you fuller, I kind of like, I kind of push it aside. But I just like soda water or sparkling water in general. And I don't really care for that, but now I can have it almost any time. And believe me, it's much better to buy something that makes your soda water or your seltzer or your carbonated water if you want to have it all the time. I have it all the time. I have it every day. And it saves a lot of money, and it saves the trips from the store trying to get all those bottles, and I have to pay all the extra fees with recycling stuff. So I'm very happy with it, and I get to have sparkling water every time. Now, I did mention I said I love cooking. I love watching shows. Like all throughout this lockdown and COVID stuff, I watched a bunch of Jacques Pepin, Julia Child, learn lots of different recipes from different parts of the world. Just awesome to try it. I tried myself with bread. Yeah, bread. That's a good subject to bring up. Bread is something that I have to fight with for a very long time. And when I found fasting, I think I'm finally winning my control of bread. I used to eat bread all the time, almost every meal, plus a small meal between meals. I would make a small sandwich with the regular sliced bread, and that's what I would do. But I do not do that anymore. I'm a bit more control with bread, and I still eat bread sometimes, not all the time now. But when I do, I kind of gorge it on when it's available. Especially we have specialty bread like baguette. So you call that specialty, but usually it's either sliced bread or anything else, which I call just specialty bread out there. And I just would eat it all the time, just picking at it maybe throughout the day and try to just make something, put a little butter on it or whatever. But that kind of slowed down. It still happens a little bit. I just have to remind myself not to do that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's another struggle I'm facing again. So a few months ago, I was doing fine. But now, recently, that it kind of brings out my old habits are starting to come back. And I do want to get rid of it again. I still love bread, but I need to find a way, or at least to train myself to have, especially bread, even rice, in the way that I think will be good for me to enjoy, but also good for my health as well. Going back to what I like to cook, I like to cook. When back in March, I bought myself a wok and trying to teach myself how to cook with a wok. It's interesting. I don't have the right stove for it, but I think I like doing stir fries now. Stir fries taste much better with a wok, or even even a cast iron skillet. You got to try it. When you have it well seasoned, you have it, piping hot, and you're going to put vegetables in it. It doesn't take a good time, and vegetables taste so much better when you cook it at home, and you know how to cook it right. I just love really nice cooked vegetables, especially when it's done right. You got to do your research, making sure that you're cooking right, preparing it right, cleaning it right, picking out right in the grocery store as well, farmers market, wherever, and you can have such a delicious meal, and it's such a healthy, delicious meal. Part of that too. So what do I like to stir fry, or what kind of vegetables I like? Well, first of all, potatoes, that's kind of out of the window for me now. I mean, I never liked potatoes, and potatoes, I have another whole different story I'm going to save some for later, but anyway, broccoli, cauliflower, so even green beans. I have to stay away from sweet peas or something like that for the remainder of me trying to lose weight. A lot of Asian vegetables, bok choy. I like doing like stir fry with onions and garlic as the main aromatics in there. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are like top notch for me. I love mushrooms, white mushrooms, button mushrooms, portobellos, the bello mushrooms. They're the button mushrooms that are brown. Shiitake, oyster mushroom, king oyster mushroom. Oh, king oyster mushroom is one of the best ones too. Seafood mushrooms, which is a really weird one. And enoki mushrooms, they're the little tiny. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I wish I had more access to better mushrooms out there and try to experiment with them and try to add to other things, but that's what I do. I add them to my salads. I like them raw. I like them cooked. I like it any way possible in there. So I think mushrooms is my favorite vegetables. Well, for meats, I like almost any kind of meats: beef, pork, chicken, fish, especially fish. Fish I think is my favorite one. There's so many different kind of fish in there. And as for like chicken is probably the most common thing we have in my household. Beef is more expensive, so it's not there's much, but I like to hone my skills on making good steak. I haven't really gone to that yet because steak is expensive, especially good steak. You don't have to have very expensive steak too, but even the other cheaper cuts are pretty expensive as well. And then pork, as me with being Filipino, every aspect of almost every recipe has pork in it, and yeah, it's very common there. And now that I found different ways of eating for my lifestyle changes, I'm not afraid to eat the pork fat anymore. I love bacon. I even love bacon more now. I like chicharrones or pork rinds. And we have soups and different dishes that have the pork skin on it. You can see the whole layer of fat in it, and I go for that because my parents and my siblings, they don't really care. They're kind of scared of it, but I guess they're now seeing me as I change. They're starting to eat more of the fat of it, and it's not just meat as well. I'm a big adventurous eater. I like eating the organ meats. I don't mind liver at all. I think liver is like a level 0 on the grossness factor for me. I want to try different sorts of stuff in there, but sometimes it's expensive, and sometimes I just don't want to just try something that I don't understand in there. And sometimes I do. I was like, oh, I'll buy that because it's cheap and on sale today, and I'm going to maybe find a way to cook it somehow. So, anything like from, I guess, like beef liver, pork liver. I like pork. The other day I had pork ear. That's great when it's done right. Again, it has to be done right. I miss chicken feet. I miss going to dim sum restaurants and eating all the wonderful foods from there. That's one of the things I love doing when we were able to go to restaurants of these kind of places too. Restaurants. Oh, buffets. I love eating buffets. I mean, I just gorge out in there. And I don't mind buffets because buffets are not something that had made me fat. I think something over time has made me fat. Buffets, I enjoy them. It's kind of funny because I go to Vegas, I eat at buffets almost every day. And then whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I just eat, and I would go back to around my normal weight by in a week. And I guess that for me, that is normal. And I enjoyed just eating the wonderful food there. I wish I can go to more of the higher end restaurants in Vegas, but of course, money's a thing. But buffets, and they're even more fancier buffets now than I used to going back there in the 90s. I mean, they're so like up there, and they have all these items, and some of them you can't even eat all the items because they have so many different items in the buffet. But so you get little things in there, but you want to try out everything in there, and then you want to go back for the ones that you like in there. But unfortunately, I miss buffets. Hopefully, I come back. I keep saying to everyone, like, when the world will be okay when they open the buffets. I do hope I give you some more of my insights of what do I eat. I mean, this could be a whole maybe 2-hour video of what I would like eating, but this is something that I want to start with. So if you have something you want to comment about, what is your favorite food? What do you do when you're fasting? And what do you take? I do forget to mention I do take like salt and electrolytes while I'm fasting at least twice a day. And yeah, so leave a comment below. I love to hear from you guys. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, like this video. It does certainly help me get out there. Okay, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.